Welcome back, everybody, to Sonic Generations, and I'm here at it again with some more custom characters. This time, it's Tails' time to shine, and I'm sure you guys know what's in store here. One thing I love about Ultimate Darkman's character mods is that they always have the classic Genesis sprites on the loading screens. So today, I'm going to be playing around with the Real Tails mod, which has modern Tails, but from the same creator, we also have the Classic Tails mod, the real Classic Tails mod. And what's so real about him? Well, he can actually just fly on command, and he accelerates depending on how much you mash the A button, just like in the classic games. This is really fascinating to me, obviously, because Classic Tails, wow, his little animation when you actually get him to look at the level. Oh, he's thinking. Wait, that's really cute. He's thinking just like he does in some of the Generations cutscenes where he's theory crafting with modern Tails. That's so adorable. I love that. Now, I find this mod to be particularly cool because there aren't very many classic Sonic mods out there. I think a lot of people, myself included, absolutely forget that classic Sonic is even a part of this game. Every single time that I've watched a Sonic X Shadow Generations like trailer reaction, people are always like, man, I don't give a shit about classic Sonic. Just give me Shadow, give me a modern Sonic. That's all I care about. But of course here, I am playing the Chemical Plant because this is a zone from Sonic 2. What could be more fitting? He's got his high-speed animation where he's using his tails to propel himself, just like the classics. Gotta love it. Now, something that I'm not actually too sure on is if there are any physics modifications to classic Sonic's gameplay outside of just being able to fly now. Because he feels really smooth, and I wonder if it's just been that long since I last actually tried playing classic Sonic in this game, or if it's like been changed up a little bit to feel better. Now, it's cool too because, yeah, he has all of his classic actions all animated and everything too, but Tails also has his tails popping out of the jump ball, which if you've watched my Tails on Chaos Island video and my Cream Frontiers video, I talked in detail about how I'm actually really happy that they added the detail where he has his tails on his jump ball in the modern games, because I didn't expect them to include that, honestly, for whatever reason. He doesn't have it on his regular spin ball, which is a little disappointing, but I understand it was probably difficult. What does this look like? Oh, look at him. Even his little tuft of hair is blowing to the side. That is really nice. Okay, hold on, Chief. I want to take the top route. Stop deciding for me. Good thing I have a man that can fly. Oh, look at that. His tuft of hair even blows in the wind while he's propelling himself. Oh, look at them, look at them, look at them. Oh, I love the way that his tails wag while he's doing his little running, his little scampering. Probably the most important detail of real character mods is like always, what? He can swim? It's always the animations, because look at this. Like, yes, we have totally custom physics which are allowing him to swim and fly, and they feel exactly like the Genesis era. Wow, he's actually doggy paddling. That's so sick. But it's always in the animation. The quality of animations really determine how believable a character mod is. It's really lucky because in the classic era, every character basically controlled the same out of a few different moveset changes. Oh, okay, I missed. Thank God I can fly. I keep wanting to hold down every single time I ascend as Tails, because in Superstars, if you hold down, you start descending as Tails, which is like one of the best moveset additions for him. Oh, kind of a shock that they didn't change the goalpost to be Tails. He's thinking, and he's happy. Look at the boy go. So yeah, that's another thing that Ultimate Darkman loves doing with their mods. They love giving custom animations to every character. Also, quick side note, I love the liquid that's going through these tubes in the background of Chemical Plant. I think Chemical Plant has looked the best it ever has in Generations. It also looked really good in Spaceport and Sonic Forces. I just love how Chemical Plant looks like in a modern context. Now, I know a lot of people love the pixel art in Sonic Mania, but if I'm being personally honest, I love the direction that Superstars went over the direction that Mania went. I don't know, I just really like 3D models, personally. That's kind of my jam. I also love when you hit that classic spring and it sends them like flipping off to their side position. That was a thing that was in the classic games, but it's in this as well, and I'm a big fan of that animation. I just think it looks so smooth and nice. Oh, look at him hopping around, and he flies around too. Oh, and he hits like that little classic pose when he gets an S rank, dude. Now, I'm actually very curious to see what modern Tails victory animations are, if there is any. That mod might be a little bit old. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You see how the boost bar is completely changed to be dash/fly? That's a thing that Ultimate Darkman constantly does in these character mods for Generations, because the whole central gameplay mechanic and movement in, you know, Generations and everything in between is the fact that you'll be boosting. Whoa, he's like flapping his tails around to like propel himself on the rail. That's so cool. Back when I covered the Silver mod, Silver also had a hover meter that was using the boost meter, which I think is like really clever. I love that Tails trick animation. It's just a simple backflip. I don't know, I just like it because it's like, he isn't as cool as Sonic to be hitting like tricks and stuff, but I don't know, it fits him in like a cartoon character kind of way. Also, before I hit the QTE, I love that this is his like spring/ramp pose. It reminds me of a classic pose all too well, especially when the classic characters are running and they have their fists to their side like little Mickey Mouse characters. I don't know, that's an aspect I kind of really enjoy about the classic characters, is that they are very classic cartoons in that kind of way, whereas in the modern depictions of all of them, they're trying to look a lot cooler. They didn't exactly give our boy the ability to swim like his classic counterpart. A lot of these character mods, wow, that was really cool. He has a direct animation for kicking the box. How niche is that? But you gotta understand, a lot of these character mods were made like 7, 8, sometimes 10 years ago, which is really impressive when you think about it. This is a full 3D game. I'd like to believe that on average, 3D games are a little bit more difficult to mod than, you know, the classic stuff. Oh, he looks really cute here, actually. He's just happy he's going down the slide. But, you know, a full 3D game, you gotta account for 3D models. You know, 3D modeling software, especially for the general public, wasn't as easy to use or accessible or as good about a decade ago, you know, like, ow. You gotta account for, like, the physics modding and level design and all that kind of stuff. So, it's really impressive to me that these existed as long ago as they did, and obviously they're only getting better and better. And I do think it's really cool that Ultimate Darkman was like, yeah, you know what, let's acknowledge the other half of what Generations was known for, aka the whole classic side of things, and went the extra mile to make it classic moveset accurate. And right now, I'm enjoying their old work. I've had this mod installed for a long time, actually, just because I thought that it would be really cool to have a Generations boost moveset of, like, every one of the classic cast members. Whoops. So, you know, you got the regular Boost Sonic, of course, and then you've got Boost Tails, and there's also Boost Knuckles, which I briefly showed off as, like, a cameo appearance in one of my other videos. Oh, I do really love how he transitions himself. He, like, positions himself upward with his tails flapping in the air, and then he, like, moves his arm in front of him to kind of, like, shift forward. Like that animation right there. It's very cute. Makes a lot of sense for him, too. Bada bing. Yeah, he does have a custom animation for his... Oh, he almost tripped over. You can really tell how old this is compared to the classic mod, because some of the transitions with his movements there were a little stiff, but it still looked really cool. I love when they actually utilize Tails flying around for short little bursts to add a little bit more of expressiveness to him. Like, no other character can really do that besides Silver, who can levitate. But it looks so much cooler as Tails because he actually has to move his tails around, and you have the smoothness of his tails actually going in a circle. Like, you have to be really skilled to animate that well. I like that the opening to Speed Highway is very similar to the modern counterpart, where they actually start in, like, that corridor section. I feel like this is probably the singular best level to try and use Tails on, because not only is there this ad with the tornado in it, there's also so many bottomless pits and platforming segments that you can efficiently skip if you have the boy. But the thing you do have to be really worried about is don't overextend yourself, because he can get tired, just like the classic games. Oh wait, that's actually kind of cool. You can see like the lights from the city in the back there, and then he has a real expression for this. You're never really facing his front, so you can't see it too efficiently half the time. Don't get hit by a car, little fox boy. But it's really sick to me that they wanted to add that extra little piece of the detail, a little piece of the puzzle, make him feel all that much more real. Another thing that I really like about what they did with the classic levels in Generations, even if its physics aren't the best, and even if it gets heavily overshadowed by how good the modern gameplay is, it's the fact that you have all like these changing perspectives and dynamic animations. Seeing that in a 2D perspective platforming game is really sick. It makes everything feel less limited, and I feel like I can be immersed with the levels a lot more that way. Like, I just love that I can see, like, the total 3D space. Like, I'm walking on real staircases here, you know? Instead of it just being a slope in a 2D perspective or something. Oh yeah, you can ring the bell. I think this is also an achievement in the game. In modern Sonic levels, they use the Sonic Heroes bounce pads, and in Classic, they use the classic Sonic bounce pads, you know, which are just simple springs with a singular color on them. I do wonder what this looks like with Classic Tails. Look at him. He has no idea what's going on. Look how small his expression is. He's so confused. This level actually feels like butter to use with the Classic Tails, though. I might be a little weird to say this, but I think I like how Classic Tails plays a lot more than Classic Sonic in this game. But maybe that'll change in Shadow Generations, because, they're giving Classic Sonic his drop dash in that game. Although he kind of doesn't need it with how fast the spin dash is, just in general. I don't know, I like his animation so much. You know, it's obviously like a recency bias, like, ooh, new content, me likey. But his model looks so good. Wait, that's a good opportunity to see what he looks like in his hurt animation. He is not happy about that at all, and then he pulls himself up. But I don't know, I just like the ability to, like, fly, because, I don't know, I feel Classic Sonic is a little overtuned in this game. Like, he's very fast, sometimes it's a little difficult to control. But with Tails, you can correct yourself accordingly. Oh my god, instead of stretching, he yawns. Wait, that's actually pretty in tune, because, you know, Tails is probably decently athletic if he's following Sonic around, right? But, you know, he's probably not nearly as athletic as Sonic himself. He's, you know, the nerd guy. He likes computers. He stays inside. He is a mechanic, you know, which I guess requires some strength. But in general, I guess it makes sense that he'd be a little bit more dozing off and relaxed. Also, it's funny because this level actually has some relevance for Tails because of his race against Eggman in Sonic Adventure 1. I was originally choosing this level because it was being shown off a lot in the Sonic X Shadow Generations promotional stuff. You know, I just thought that it was fitting because, like, oh hey, haha, look, it's the location they use in a lot of, like, the trailers and the really raw artwork of Sonic and Shadow beside each other on different highways. So it's like, you know what, might as well play this level. I'm kind of in the mood for it, but yeah, then I very shortly realized, yeah, this is actually a Tails level in Sonic Adventure. Yo! Yay, that's another thing I also completely forgot. Ouch. Ultimate Darkman's characters also have custom trick animations. Man, I really wish that Tails had his tails on this jump ball for this mod. It'd be really cool to see these mods get updated one day. I love that you can attack them with this flying attack, because that's how it would be in the classic games as well. Oh, what a good animation from the front POV. He's like serious, he's locked in. And of course, the way that his tails are animated in the back looks so cool. I love that part. You just watch all of them fall down to their doom after outrunning them down a giant skyscraper. It's so sick. Oh, look at that. Look how perfectly that worked out. I flew right into position perfectly to start wall jumping. You know what? I don't need your platforms. I'm just gonna fly over. He's really fun to use, honestly. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I missed that, but good thing I can just come over here. Man, I love that one-trick animation where he, like, spins his tails around mid-air. It looks like one of his Sonic Adventure 1 attacks. I do want to be up here because this is one of the cool secret routes that you have to go for a Red Ring achievement. Wow, he looks so cool with his boosting animation in this level. I don't know, the aesthetic of Tails running around his city is really sick. Look how proud of himself he is. All he needs is the badge on his chest. Oh yeah, something that I really want to, like, look at is how classic Tails looks next to Shadow. Because, you know, they have that classic rivalry between the two. Shadow hates this guy. He definitely couldn't care less that this man is right next to him, bothering him. Come on, man, Classic Tails just wants to tell you about Roblox. Oh, he's got his yawning animation. This is like that SpongeBob meme where Squidward's like, we're gonna kill you. I don't know, I just think it's really funny seeing the imagery of Shadow, who is like the protagonist of his side of Generations, next to this little man. I know Classic Sonic has that too, but that looks so adorable on him. I really love the way that his hair on the top of his head actually moves around, and he's kind of got like a little cat mouth the way that it curves. Now, if you want to see something funny, there's actually quite a few differences between this model and the original in-game Tails model. Why is he actually made out of chrome? But it's funny because you have this side mission where you can utilize Tails, but because you're playing as Tails, you don't actually need his assistance whatsoever. But I'm gonna call him anyway, because he controls somewhat similar to how the real Tails mod does, but like, look at the vast difference in this. You know, real Classic Tails actually has the color in his eye, whereas the Generations Classic Tails doesn't. He's got really weird materials on him. I wonder if I somehow have like a mod that's affecting the in-game model, or maybe he just really looks like that. He looks like he's a clay figure. Wow, like, look at the difference between all of these materials. Is this really the model that they used for, like, the in-game cutscenes and everything? That's interesting. But look how funny it is seeing Classic Tails helping out Classic Tails, huh? For the sake of it, I'm probably just gonna try and clear this mission without, using Tails. It's kind of interesting, because this level is technically designed with Tails gameplay in mind, if you think about it, right? So this is an official level that supports the gameplay style of this mod. It isn't very high-paced or anything, because you're constantly trying to fly around, but this is legitimately fun. For all intents and purposes, this is essentially a whole-ass Classic Tails level, except for that. Don't let that happen. Alright, I'm just gonna go over the dash ring, and then so I can recharge myself. Yep, drop down on the platform, kill that man. Thankfully, I'm recharged now. I'm going to try and fly around here. Perfect. Actual real Tails level. I like that these dash rings are just an obstacle for me now. Okay. So close, yet so far. We could do it, we could do it. This is weirdly fun. I gotta do this kind of all in one go, so I'm gonna try and recharge as often as I can. Gotta account for the side that the enemy shoots the bullet on. Keep it low, go fast. And then he's gonna run out soon, so I'm gonna refresh. Thank you. I love that there's just enough space for you to land on the side of the platform there. I think this is kind of cool because if you're playing the Classic Tails mod, you're probably a decently seasoned veteran of this game, so a little challenge like this wouldn't hurt anyone. I think people also completely forget and underrate how pretty good the side content in Generations really was. Because when Generations gets brought up in discussions, it's always like, oh, that game's so short, there's only 18 levels in it. But if you take into account all of the side missions that actually utilize the other characters in gameplay and everything, there's quite a bit to do. I know it's not like the regular formula of the game that everybody loves, you know, like high octane boost levels and everything. We gotta stop underrating the side content in this game. It's probably some of the best side content since the adventure era. I feel like the 100% completion for Sonic Colors was pretty decent, but Sonic Colors just had a lot of kind of aggravating moments. Oh, dude, I went into the green ring because I thought it was gonna save me. Did I somehow refresh myself by hitting the absolute top of the screen? That's the tech. That's how you do it. That was a really good experiment. I would recommend. And of course, we need to do some Sonic Heroes without the Sonic and without the plural in heroes. Welcome back, baby, to Seaside Hill, which is one of the best. Look at that spin. This is one of the best boost levels in the entirety of the franchise. The original Seaside Hill on the GameCube was a banger level on its own, but you best bet that this level is probably the one that I return to the absolute most. Probably this and Crisis City are my favorites. They try to do a lot of like classic platforming in this level, as opposed to just like running down hallways and like avoiding obstacles as you're moving along. But I think it really works out, for this level. Even with the Generations physics, I think that it plays really nice in the 2D sections. They got lots of like wall jumping and like platforms that you can jump through vertically. Like the way that you can progress through this level feels really nice. God, I love that his arms get pushed backwards when he boosts. Like, it's the sheer momentum of it all. I love that his down trick animation is him, like, propelling himself slightly with his butt. You know what? I don't want to be on this pathway. Let me fly up here. Yep, and damage an enemy in the process. This is so immersive, man! I'm such a big fan. And for all of you people that don't like that Tails was only throwing wrenches in Sonic Frontiers, this mod is probably for you. He feels a lot more like himself. He's attacking with his classic abilities. You know the drill. You know what? I don't even need to fight you guys to get by. Let me just, yep, go right to the top path. It's just so cool the way that I can mess with it. I'm going the turtle route because I prefer the turtle route. I find the karting section to be a little bit boring. I just prefer platforming. I just feel like it's a lot more engaging and requires my input so much more. Boop. That section especially works well with Tails because you have all of his flying mechanics. Oh, I also just noticed that Tails has his hero's logo on the bar there next to some nice, beautiful 2D art of him. It's kind of cool knowing that this is an older mod and it's using some of that like really classic Yukawa artwork that we all know about, because at the time that was probably like the best artwork they had of him before like things like Frontiers came out, you know? Boop, boop. I almost never go on this pathway. Oh yeah, and if you fail this segment, you can correct yourself by flying. See, this is what I mean, like the 2D in this section is really clever and requires a lot of skill so that you can get to the top routes. Okay, I have the ability to cheat. Me too, man. His hurt lines are really funny because he doesn't have any like modern hurt lines because he hasn't really been playable in any modern game besides Frontiers, which obviously came out like 13 years after Generations did. Let's hit the action command. And I love, too, that QTE Restoration mod has all of the voice lines intact for everybody. Here's another level that was commonly used in the advertising for Sonic X Shadow Generations. By the way, look how nice the water looks at this perspective with the calm waves, the sun shining off of them, and, you know, just being at this level in general, I don't know, it's very comforting. Oh yeah, you get the little shallow pools of water that you can jump into. See, I love 3D perspectives in 2D side-scrolling games because you can do cool things like this. Whereas in a fully 2D sprited game, you would just see like the line of water, but you can see like the full perspective and all like the water splashing. I don't know, it just makes me happy. Now, I feel like a lot of these later levels in the 2Ds, like, you can do cool transitions like that, where he gets shot in a hole in the wall in the cave. You can just be, like, communicated so well. This is another really good level for Tails, because not only does he actually, you know, appear in Seaside Hill in Sonic Heroes, but he also can swim around in the 2D version of the level. I didn't really even plan this out from a gameplay mechanics perspective. I just kind of was like, oh hey, these are levels that he's in. I should play them. And grab some momentum on the way down. Dude, Classic Sonic is so underrated in this game. Like, his physics are not as good as they are in, you know, Sonic Mania or even Sonic Superstars. I think the level design in these levels, though, is actually pretty good compared to Superstars. Superstars level design was probably at its best in the first few zones of the game, and then got, like, obsessed with, like, challenging you. Like, I really do like the level design. Something I do kind of want to do is I want to show off classic Tails super form. He has a special animation and a special expression for it and everything, dude. And he actually goes super. He glows. He irradiates gold off of him. He's even got like this white glowing outline on him, kind of similar to Frontiers. That being said, Modern Tails has a super form in his own mod too. Look at him get all angry with his transformation. But that's not all. He has this floating idol where his tails are bobbing around, his fist is out to his side, and he's looking mad. No more playtime. He's gonna destroy every single one of Eggman's creations. How sick is this though? I think I prefer this idol over Super Sonic's idol. It flows so nicely. The only thing that they could have done better for a Super Tails, they could have given him like flickies or something for like Hyper Tails in the classic games, but how cool is this? That we're like recanonizing the classic super forms with full support. It makes me really want a playable classic Knuckles mod so that I could see Hyper Knuckles with his own super form, and then we could pair it up to classic Super Tails and classic Super Sonic. I kind of like the imagery of classic Super Tails running away from this giant boulder. Like, I just love how action-packed this is. He's completely locked in. I'm pretty sure this is the same animation that he has in his normal form, but it just looks so cool in this scene. Another thing that I really like about the Generations Classic gameplay is that you can charge your spin dash by holding X like it's an adventure game. Check this out, he has a special animation for being super as well. It's not too different from the original pose. He just kind of has a different ending pose, and he starts the animation by floating in the air. I don't even know why the mod maker was like, yeah, let me do all that extra work just to make sure the super form works properly. But it does, and it's the coolest thing ever. As always, everything shown here today will be down below. Give all the creators some love. And if you're new here, check out my modding playlist, because this is the bulk of what I do whenever there's a gap in between major releases, and you better bet I'm going to be playing a ton of Shadow Generations.